My name is Emily. I'm 30 years old and I work at a company. This year, I got married to my husband Jake. The only unusual thing about our marriage was that Jake already had 2 children from his first wife, who passed away last year. His older son, Ethan, is 10 and his younger son, Noah, is 8. After marrying Jake, I suddenly became a mother to them. Noah accepted me right away and treated me like his mom. But Ethan was different. He kept his distance, spoke to me awkwardly, and didn't seem comfortable around me. I understood that he was still grieving his mom, so I didn't rush him. I just hoped that little by little he would open up to me. 2 years later, I found out I was pregnant. Soon, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl, Lily. Ethan and I were still not very close, but he was incredibly protective of Lily. He loved her like a real little sister. Overall, our family was doing well, but there was one big problem. Jake's parents were always mean to me. His father, Robert, and his mother, Linda, never missed a chance to put me down. Instead of being happy when I was pregnant, they criticized me. They said that because Lily was so much younger than Ethan and Noah, people would gossip about them being half-siblings. I couldn't believe it. Were they really so worried about what others thought that they ignored their own grandchild? Since Jake and I both worked, we often left the kids at Robert and Linda's house, and we usually had dinner there after work. Every time we ate together, Linda would throw insults at me. "You're a woman, but you don't do anything around the house. You just work, have a kid, and that's it. What a shameful wife you are," she would say. She only said things like this when the kids weren't around. Robert also took any chance he could to blame me for things. Over the years, they had yelled at me and lectured me so many times that I couldn't even remember all the insults. But the worst part, they would purposely leave me out during dinner. They would serve food for everyone except me. Then Linda would smirk and say, "Oh dear Emily, looks like we forgot your portion. But it's fine, you're trying to lose weight anyway, right?" Then she would laugh. She said I didn't need to eat much, but the truth was they weren't letting me eat at all. And Jake, he just sat there and ignored everything. He didn't defend me, he just ate his food like nothing was happening. In the middle of all this, the kids were the only ones who stood by my side. Noah would offer me some of his food, saying, "Here, you can have this instead." Even Ethan, who usually didn't talk to me much, would quietly say, "This is really good," and place some of his food on my empty plate. When Robert and Linda saw this, they were not happy. But I ignored their disapproving looks and accepted Ethan and Noah's kindness. I think the only thing that kept me going was the kids being on my side. Without them, I might have broken down a long time ago. But no matter what, Robert and Linda's bullying never stopped. Little by little, I felt more and more trapped. And as always, my husband was completely useless. Actually, Jake was on his parents' side. The other day, he even told me, "Don't embarrass my mom and dad too much." It was as if he blamed me just because the kids gave me their food, making Robert and Linda realize how cruel they were being. But wasn't that the truth? They were bullying me. So why was I always the one being blamed? I couldn't talk to anyone about how I felt. I was completely alone. I thought about divorcing Jake, but I couldn't bring myself to do it because Lily had just been born. As I kept struggling with these thoughts, time passed. Before I knew it, 2 years had gone by. In that time, I had lost about 33 pounds. My body had been healthy before, so losing that much weight made me look sickly. My face and cheeks had become noticeably thinner. Since I wasn't eating properly, people at work started to notice. They were worried about my health. One of the HR staff even scheduled a meeting with me, thinking I might be getting harassed at work. Every time they asked, I forced a smile and said, "Everything's fine." I acted like nothing was wrong. But deep down, I knew the truth. Everything was wrong. There were too many problems, and I was drowning in them. I didn't even know what the real problem was anymore. Then one day after New Year's, Ethan, now 15 years old, suddenly spoke to me. Are you okay? Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too much?" I was shocked. I never thought Ethan really liked me, so I never tried to bother him. That's why, even after living together for years, there was still a distance between us. But now, hearing such kind words from him, I started thinking back. Ethan had always been there for me. Even when Robert and Linda treated me badly, even when we barely spoke, he would still quietly share his food with me. He also took such good care of Lily. He was truly dependable. So when he asked me if I was okay, tears welled up in my eyes. I cried and cried, as if all the pain I had been holding in finally burst out. I knew it was embarrassing to break down in front of a 15-year-old, but I couldn't stop. Between sobs, I told Ethan everything I had been keeping inside for so long. He just listened quietly, and in that moment I realized something. Ethan, a teenage boy, was more reliable than my own husband, a grown man. When I finished talking, Ethan finally spoke. "What do you want to do, Mom? Do you want to leave him?" I want a divorce," I admitted. "I just want to get away from him and his parents." "I think that would be the best thing for you, Mom. You've suffered enough." Hearing those words made me cry even more. But at the same time, I felt relieved. After talking to Ethan, I finally found the courage to ask Jake for a divorce. All I wanted was to take Lily and get far away from him and his awful parents. When Jake heard my decision, his face turned red with anger. He yelled at me, but in the end, he just snapped, "Fine. Do whatever you want. I don't care anymore," and signed the papers. We agreed that I would leave the house in a week so I could pack my things and Lily's. While I was busy packing, Ethan spoke to me again. "If it's possible, and if it's okay with you, could you take us with you?" I looked at him confused. "What do you mean?" "Well, actually." Then he told me something that broke my heart. That man burned all the photos of our mom that Noah and I treasured so much. Those were the only memories we had of her. He also never let us visit our grandparents on Mom's side. Even after she passed away, we still haven't been able to see them properly. Plus, we haven't even been allowed to visit our own mom's grave. Our grandparents have been wanting to see us, but that awful man keeps telling them not to come. He's keeping us away from our own family. I was completely shocked and speechless. Robert and Linda were terrible, but my husband was just as bad as them. I really wanted to take Ethan and Noah with me. When I told Ethan this, he looked relieved and even laughed a little. It was the first time I had ever seen his real, happy smile. "Thank you so much," he said. "And I'm really sorry for being so distant and cold toward you all these years." For the first time, I truly felt like his mother. Then Noah spoke up. "I want to go with you too, Mom." At that moment, I became more determined than ever to take them both with me. I contacted their mom's family and took Ethan and Noah to meet their grandparents. When their grandparents saw them after so many years, they burst into tears. They told me they had always worried about the boys and wanted to see them so badly. I explained that I was divorcing Jake and wanted to take Ethan and Noah with me. Their grandparents immediately agreed. Not only that, their aunts and uncles also offered to help me financially, knowing I'd soon be a single mother. It was the most generous offer I had ever received, so I accepted their help. Ethan and Noah were overjoyed. Now that they could finally see their grandparents whenever they wanted, they smiled in a way I had never seen before. A few days later, we had a big family meeting at Robert and Linda's house. For Lily's safety, I left her at my parents' house. Jake had a terrible temper, and I was afraid he might lash out and scare her when he got angry. When I told Robert and Linda about the divorce, they exploded in rage. They yelled horrible things at me. "What kind of wife and mother are you? I've never met anyone as awful as you. Do you think our son is just an ATM for you? I told Jake not to marry someone like you. I knew you were bad news from the start. You selfish, irresponsible woman. You should rot in hell. My God, I feel like I was tricked into letting my son marry you. I can't believe you turned out to be such a horrible woman. I feel like I've been scammed." How could they ignore all the terrible things they had done to me over the years and still have the nerve to say such things? I ignored the harsh words from Jake, Robert, and Linda and asked, "Am I getting custody of Lily?" I tried to keep the conversation going, but Robert and Linda clearly didn't like that their insults weren't affecting me. They said, "Yeah, take Lily with you," but it sounded like they didn't care at all. I guess they didn't want her because she was a girl, and girls aren't seen as important for their family legacy. All right then, that's it. You've packed your stuff, so get out. I'm glad someone like you will be gone from our house. That's when Ethan spoke up. I have something to say." What do you want?" "Ethan and I are leaving with Mom." "What? What are you talking about?" "No, we're not staying here anymore. You ignore everything horrible you've done to Mom. But from our view, she's been a much better parent than you." "What did you just say, you little?" How dare you talk to your own father like that? You all need to just listen to me and obey. And that's exactly what I can't stand about you. Ethan said sharply. You try to control everything you can, Mom, who passed away because of you. She suffered so much, and in the end, she took her own life because of you. And not just you, Robert and Linda, it's your fault too. You used to treat our mother just like you treat Mom now. Did you think we wouldn't notice just because we were kids? You're all terrible people, and we're ashamed to be related to you. Ethan's words hit Jake, Robert, and Linda hard. Robert and Linda went silent, looking down, but Jake was shaking with anger. His pride made him shout, "Shut up. I don't want anything to do with you and Ethan anymore. Get out, all of you." Seeing Jake lose control didn't scare me anymore. Before we left, we all glared at Jake, and I said, "Looks like we won't be seeing each other again. Goodbye." And we left the house together. I still wanted to get what I could, so I hired a lawyer and filed for compensation for the emotional harm Jake, Robert, and Linda caused me, along with child support. After that, I moved into a new apartment with my dear Ethan, Noah, and Lily. Thanks to the support from Ethan and Noah's grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and the child support, we managed to settle into a nice apartment. Each of the kids had their own rooms, and I had my own room too. Being a single mom will come with its challenges, but with my sons and daughter by my side, we will face them as a family and get through it together. Thank you for watching till the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the next video.